know that expression, you learn something new every day? Well, here on Paige's Lessons, I'm going to share with you a variety of insights and self-reflections that will inspire and motivate you to rethink how you process and experience life. I'll be giving my best advice on topics such as relationships, career, and overall life transitions. I can't wait to share these golden nuggets with you. Let's get started. And now a quick shout out to our sponsor. And now back to the show. Something happened to me today that was extremely beautiful and pretty, beyond this world. And I just wanted to share it with you because I truly believe in when people pass on, that they, their spirit is still with you and they leave you these messages to just know that you're on the right path. So anyway, I'll just start with this story. I was visiting a friend and I met, she just had a newborn baby. And so I met him and he was so sweet and it was really great just to spend time with her and her new kid. And when I Ubered home, it was this gentleman and he told me he's 74 years old. He used to be a massage therapist and then a real estate agent and then a medical doctor. He just briefly told me a little bit about himself, but he asked me, what do I do for work? And I just very openly kind of shared him my life story. It was only a 20-minute Uber ride, but I feel like I hit the points and it just felt really natural. He seemed very curious. He asked me questions. He's like, oh, tell me more about life coaching. What do you do? Just like was really receptive. And I just felt very comfortable talking to him. And whenever I shared, this is my mission, this is why I do what I do, this is how I transitioned, just every point that I made, he was just so validating. And he was just like, oh my gosh, it looks like you've been in this for a long time. How long have you been in this? And I said, well, I'm 31 years old, so, 10 plus years. And he's like, oh my God, you're only 31 and you've done so much for yourself. Wow. Have you taken a break? Have you come up for air? And I laughed because it was like, wow, he brings a good point. Like I have been on the straight and narrow, just focusing on my career for a really long time. And so it was also just a good reminder for me to take a break every now and then. But anyway, so we're almost at my house. He drops me off. He said, thank you so much, Paige, for just opening up and telling me who you are. I'm going to go tell my wife when I get home that I had a really good conversation with you. And I was like, oh, same here. And so I gave him my business card. And then, I said, hey, if you ever want to, send me an email or anything, this is how you can connect with me. And he's like, I really appreciate that. And so then I went upstairs, I went home, and I looked on my app because, it texts you when your ride is complete. And the name of my Uber driver is named Richard. That is the name of my dad who passed away. And I definitely got dad vibes, like the whole ride, just for how sweet and receptive he was. And ironically, the dude who's 74 years old, that's also when my dad passed. He would have turned 82 this year. So I thought that was really ironic that it's also that age. But anyway, I just when I saw the name Richard, I was like, oh my God. It just felt like a message from my dad. It felt very sincere. And it was like, I hear you. Dad. Message loud and clear. Thank you so much for communicating with me and showing me a sign that you're around. And even though you're not physically here to watch me grow for my business, I'm so grateful And I wanted to share this with you and, encourage you to look for those signs. Look for messages from God, the universe, your ancestors, whatever you believe in your spiritual realm. What messages have you received lately? And how can you be a little bit more open and attuned to just being more open to what's out there and who's trying to connect with you? Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others. Post about it on social media or head over to your favorite podcast platform to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Subscribing and posting a review helps to improve engagement and is essential for the podcast to be discovered by new listeners. Thanks again for listening, and remember, every day provides a lesson. Take care.